Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to use event emitter in React Native's new architecture for Android. So let's get started. So first you will have to open this particular documentation over here and just scroll down. Unfortunately in this documentation they haven't told us how to use event emitter. So in case if you don't know what is event emitter, it is basically used for sending continuous stream of data from native Android side to React Native side. So that's why we require a turbo module. So with the help of this particular documentation we will see how to create a turbo module, and based on that turbo module we will add event emitter code inside it. Like I said, unfortunately this documentation does not tell you how to add event emitter, but instead it uses promises. But the problem with promises is you can only send data once whenever you call a method, but event emitter can continuously send stream of data. So yeah, so first you will have to create a React Native project. So you can use this particular command. You don't need to specify the version, because at the time of me recording this video I am using React Native 78. Also this is your project name, so yeah, you can give whatever project name you feel like. I have already created the project as you can see over here. Then let's go through the documentation. As you can see, it says that first we need to create this specs folder. So I will just create this specs folder inside the root of our React Native project. Okay, then we need to create a TypeScript file, but the TypeScript file has to be, naming of the TypeScript file has to be very specific. The name of the TypeScript file should start with the word native, then it can be anything. Okay, so suppose I give it like sorry, native. I won't use this native local storage. I will use something different, because again the TypeScript file name is very important, as that name will be used in lot other places as well. So what I'll do here inside, I'll just name it as native, I don't know, native my info, okay, .ts, something like this. Next I will just copy paste all this code and I'll paste it over here. Now you need to make few changes. Firstly, I don't require all these methods. Like we will have some method, but this method does not make sense in my case, so I'll just remove this. And this here, instead of native local storage, it should be native my info. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now inside this I will just paste some code. Okay, so as you can see over here, I have defined two event emitters, one which will emit a boolean value and second which will emit an array of object. Okay, so these are only used for emitting the data from native Android side to React Native side. Then I have defined two methods. First one is called send some values, which we will use with on values emitted, and second one is send some boolean values, and here we will use this boolean event emitter inside it. Now you can also define over here string or number, whatever you feel like. Here I have just taken these two examples. Next we'll need to open our terminal. Sorry, before that I'll just cd to that React Native project which I have created. So this is my React Native project, right? I'll clear everything out. Next we need to scroll down and we need to copy this particular bit of code inside our package.json file. So I'll just copy this, I'll go to package.json and I'll paste it over here. Now like I mentioned, the TypeScript file name is very important, so I'll just copy this TypeScript file name. I'll come over here and here instead of native local storage I need to write native my info spec. Okay, same thing over here, I will need to write native my info spec, but here everything should be small. So I'll just write something my and over info. Okay, I'll command us to save it. Then we need to run npm install to because we have made some changes inside our package.json file, right? That's why we need to do npm install as well. Then we need to cd to the Android folder which we have created. Then just scroll down and here you can see we need to run this particular command. So this will actually do the code generation for us. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now let it do its thing. So this will take a bit of time. In the meantime, what we can do is we can just open Android Studio, and if you see inside our project we have this Android folder. over here we need to open the Android folder inside Android Studio, because the code which we will be writing for our turbo module, it's better to write in from Android Studio rather than from VS Code, because you can make a lot of mistakes in VS Code, and Android Studio will automatically tell you even before running your application if you have done any mistake. So inside Android Studio I'll click on open, and here I'll just navigate to the project which I have created. Here is our Android folder, and I'll just click on open. So let's just wait for this project to build. Now again this will take bit of time. In the meantime, what I'll do, I'll go to app.tsx and I'll show you how to use it first. Later on we will add some implementation. Okay, so first we have this section which I will completely remove. I want to keep everything simple. Then here we have this scroll view, that also I will remove. I don't want this. And here I don't also want the styles, so I'll just remove that. There are some we also don't require this safe padding and this comments. I'll remove that as well. There are this unused imports, I'll remove those as well. Okay, if you want. And then I'll just do Command S to save. Now I will just write some code over here and come back and explain it to you. Okay guys, so as you can see I have written down all the code which is required. Let's go through it. So first you will have to import useState as well as useEffect from React. Then you also need to import this native myinfo TypeScript file which we have created. Then if you see over here, I have created two state. One is this useState of text, and second one is the boolean useState, which is by default false. Now if you check over here, we were sending like emitting array of object, right? But while accepting here, I am just taking string data just to simplify it. But yeah, you can accept an array of objects as well. Then inside useEffect, as you can see, these were event emitters, so they can be fired any point of time, so we have to continuously listen for them. So here we just do native myinfo on values emitted. Here we get the values, and given that this value is an array of object, I just JSON stringify it and just set it inside our set text useState. Okay, similarly for this as well, native myinfo on boolean values emitted, and whatever is the value we just set it to our boolean useState. And inside the return we want to clean up our subscription as well. That's what we are doing over here. Then if you scroll down here, I have just defined two buttons, and on first button press we just do native myinfo dot send some values. Okay, and on second button press we just do native myinfo dot send some boolean values. That's it. Then here I have defined another text element where we just display the text, and second text element, depending on what boolean value we have, we just display that over here. So pretty simple till here. Also if you check over here, my Gradle build has finished syncing. So let's see the documentation again, what it says. So we have already done this particular step, so we don't have to worry about it. So I'll just scroll down. Next, if you see, they tell us to create our package, and inside that we have to create this particular module.kt file. So if you see our package.json, so this is the package, right? I'll just copy it, go to Android folder, app, src, main, java, and inside this com you will have to create this particular package. So I'll just create this folder, something like this. Okay, next inside that we need to create this particular file, but in our case the file name will not be native local storage but native myinfo. So I'll just create this particular file, I'll append .kt to it, and here I'll just name it as native myinfo. Now however you have named it, like whatever is the capital keywords in your TypeScript file, you will have to make it capital over here as well. Okay, I'll create this file. Now there is one more file which we need to create. I'll just scroll down, native local storage package, but in our case it will be native myinfo package. So I'll just create this file, I'll append .kt to it, and here I'll just remove this, and here I'll just name it as native myinfo package.kt. Okay, then let's go to Android Studio, and you have to again do a Gradle sync, because otherwise Android Studio will not know about the new files which we have created from VS Code. So this should be pretty quick. As you can see, I'll just remove this. Then you will have to go to app, Kotlin plus Java, go to the first com. Do not get confused by this. This is a folder which is generated by React Native itself. Do not touch this. You have to use this particular first one. Then open this, go to native myinfo module.kt. First we have to write our package. Okay, and it is com dot native myinfo. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll come back to this. Okay, let's just copy everything. Okay, but we will be removing a lot of code from this. So first I'll just copy this. Okay, I don't want all these methods because we don't have all these methods. I'll just remove this. Secondly, what is the name of our TypeScript file? It is native myinfo. Do not forget this, otherwise again you will face issues. Then this should also be native myinfo. I'll just copy this, and here it should be native myinfo module. I'll remove this as well, and here also it should be native myinfo spec. Okay, and here okay, I'll just remove this unused package as well. Now here you can see it is giving us an error saying that we haven't overridden the methods which we have defined. So I will just option enter. I'm not sure what is the shortcut for Windows. I'm using Mac, so for it is option enter, and I'll just click on implement members. I'll click on OK. So here you can see we have to implement these two methods. Now inside these methods we will be using the event emitter to send some data. So I will just copy some code. I'll just remove this first. I'll copy some code and come back and explain it to you. So I have written down the implementation. First, make sure you copy paste all these imports. Now the implementation is very dummy implementation which I have written because we haven't really doing anything. The purpose of this tutorial is just to emit some data, right? So first for our boolean emitter I have taken this particular boolean value. Then inside send some values, what I am doing is that I am just taking this coroutine scope. You don't need to require a coroutine scope. The reason I have taken is because I want to add an artificial delay of 2 seconds. That's why I have taken this coroutine scope. Then here you can see I'm emitting a value. So to emit a value we have to use this because it is an array of object type, right? That's why we have to use something like this, arguments dot create array dot apply, and here what value we want to send. So here I want to push a string of hello. So first it will push a string like emit this value. It will wait for 2 seconds, then it will emit a integer value, then again it will wait for 2 seconds, then it will emit this double value as well as this boolean value together. Just because I want to add an artificial delay, that's why I have used this coroutine scope dispatchers main. That is the only reason. Okay, and here is our send some boolean value. So I'm just checking if initial value is true, the boolean value which we have defined over here. Then we just want to emit the opposite of it and change this initial value as well. Okay, and if it is false, then we emit it as true and also make it as true. Okay, and this is the companion object which we have defined earlier. Then again I'll just open this, and here I'll just open native myinfo package.kt. Now we can just go to the documentation, scroll down. Here is our native package. So I'll just copy everything, and first I need to write the package. It is com dot native myinfo. I'll paste everything over here. First we need to remove this unnecessary package. Okay, next we need to name the file as native myinfo package. I'll just remove this native local storage, name it as native myinfo package. Okay, then here I'll just copy this file name native myinfo module. Okay, I'll paste it over here, over here, over here, over here, and over here. Rest everything remains the same. Then the next step is you will have to come to the RN app or whatever is your project name, package, like the main package name. Come to main application, and here you have to do something like this, add, and here you will have to add this particular thing, native myinfo package. I'll paste it over here, and I'll do this, and we have to import this as well. So again I'll just click option enter, and it has added the import for me. So as you can see over here, now don't worry about this error. These are all false positives. As soon as you build your application, all these errors will automatically go away. Do not add this import of all these imports. These are wrong imports. We don't require an import for add. You only need to add this particular import. Okay, I think that should be it. Let me run my application and show you guys the output. Guys, so here is the output. First I will click on this send boolean values button, and once I click on it, here you can see the value gets toggled. As soon as I click on it, now this send boolean values is only sending data once you click on the button, right? So instead of using an event emitter, you could have used promise or a direct return type as well. Okay, so but this send some boolean values button properly emulate the event emitter functionality. So but I have had an artificial delay, but hopefully you got the point. So I'll click on this send boolean value, send some values. Here you can see value is getting changed after every 2 seconds. So yeah, that's it. That's again, I'll click on this send some values button again. So here you can see after 2 seconds the value is getting changed. So yeah, that's how you can use event emitter to continuously send stream of data from native Android side to React Native side in React Native's new architecture. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Bye, take care.